What's up, guys? It's Jason. Today we're going to be talking about the best ways to bulk as a skinny guy. So my main and first tip I want to mention is making sure that you're eating at a calorie surplus. And this is probably the hardest thing about bulking up, because even though some people might feel that training, obviously you have to train at a high intensity, eating is the hardest part of bulking up, because especially if you have a skinny frame, when it comes to now eating a larger food diet, you have to make sure that you're prioritizing your meals, having the right amount of protein intake and carbohydrates. Now, the best way I would say to go about this is by making sure that you keep a track log in a food chart which outlines all the meals that you want to be making a day. So around 3 to 4 meals, but within those meals which have a high amount of protein and carbohydrates, because these are the things that are going to help build back your muscles once you've torn them whilst training in the gym. Also, investing in some supplements, for example whey protein, and having them at least twice a day, because obviously sometimes when you're eating it's harder to digest the food when it comes to chewing a lot. So if you're having things like protein shakes which you're able to just drinking down, things like that are able to give you those nutrients but quicker. And even if it means making shakes often to help compensate if you're out in like for day-to-day working, or if you're at school, some of you guys might be at school and still trying to bulk up. So those are simple things that you can also incorporate into your daily routine. But making sure you have a chart will just help you to be a bit more accountable. So when you see, like if you're in your day-to-day work routine, you're able to have something to remind you that, oh, I need to eat now at this specific time. So it's just a bit more helpful for you. Also, try to make sure that you're taking in the right amount of water, as that will help to replenish and hydrate your body. Also, make sure that if you can, invest in some creatine supplement, as that has been known to help you put on water weight much more easier. And also it can help you in your training performance, giving you like a 10 to 15% increase in strength for when you're doing compound lifts as well. So I would recommend you invest in buying some of that if you're able to do so. And then now the next tip is making sure that when you're training, you're doing mainly compound lifts. So those lifts include your squatting, your deadlifting, and bench pressing. You might see on things on social media like accessory workouts and stuff to try and look more aesthetic and appealing. But if you're trying to solely bulk, making sure that you incorporate your compound lifts frequently, you're training more than one muscle. So when, for example, you're doing a deadlift, you're not just training your back, you're also working out your shoulders, your quads, your abs, your hamstrings, even a bit of your chest and triceps. So you have to make sure that you're understanding every time that you do a lift, you're also stimulating some other muscle groups, which will, for one, also make your gym training sessions a lot more quicker, because you won't have to worry about having to train just different small muscle groups separately. You'll have a sort of time just training one specific exercise and working more than one muscle. So also bear that in mind. I know that it might be uncomfortable for some of you guys, but in the gym, try to push yourself to your hardest limit. So making sure you train until failure. If it helps, ask someone to spot you in your training sessions. If you feel like you're going to, for example, if you're on bench press, if you feel like you're not going to get to your failure without someone being there to spot you and help you if you fail, ask someone. Don't be scared to ask, because if you know that you're pushing yourself to your fullest potential, you're going to see the results. It's all about being able to just push yourself fully and not care about what other people have to say in the gym. Also with your other lifts as squats and deadlifting, mainly for squats, but having someone to spot you in those lifts as well when you're trying to push yourself on your. So like I said, also with your squat strength, make sure that you're doing that with someone behind you if you're challenging yourself with your rep amount. So in case you cause the bar to fall on top of you, if you don't have any safety bars at your gym, have someone to help spot you in those moments, because it's going to help you in the long run when you're doing compound lifts and you're trying to challenge yourself more. And the last tip that I would recommend you do to help you bulk up if you're a skinny guy is making sure that when you're training to a hypertrophy. So making sure that you're getting a lot of reps in from, I would say personally, between 10 to 15 reps per set. Only because when you're doing, for example, reps from 1 to 5 or 1 to 8, you're not stimulating the muscles that, to help grow as quick as you'd like them to. If you're training from reps 1 to 5, that's more for powerlifting training, so solely for more strength than size. But if you imagine, you have to make sure that every time you're attacking that muscle, it has to grow back stronger. And in order to do that, you have to make sure that you put in more tension on your muscle groups more frequently, having to build up more endurance in those muscle groups so that you can come back to the next gym session being able to get more reps in, and from that you'll be able to grow more strength and endurance through that. Well, I hope you appreciated the tips that I've given you. Try to implement them and see how it goes. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are, and let's see if we can get some good results from these tips. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in a bit.